Ladies and gentlemen, the Empower Channel. Are you ready? Bringing you Fariborz Azhakh. Oh my gosh, it is great to see you, my dear old friend, and that's OLE, not OLD.
Yes,
Talking
sir.
about your dedication, man, you've been in this a while. You've been through the earthquake, the earth has moved, and here we are. You've really done a lot for the martial arts with team karate centers. Your mantra was, I'm building community with instructors and students. And
Yes.
kind of going back, you've always had this unique insight. But as far as the students go, you've always talked about this unique connection with instructor and student. Why is that so important to you?
Well, a long time ago, I've learned that there's a distinction between a customer, client, and a student. That, people come to us in the beginning and they're, they buy something, they buy a service, they're customers, and customers always right. So we go out of our way to make sure they're happy, the stuff. Then after a little while, we get to know them personally, they become clients. And more of an individual, relationship. Then after that, they become a student, and each one has its own kind of a criteria and amount of trust and integrity that goes with it. So I don't, and my people here understand that they're not just called students, because customers quit, clients stop training, but students will never stop. So there's a little distinction between them, and I make that very clear. If there's a piece of trash on the floor, a customer will come to me and complain for me to go get it. A client will pick it up, then come and tell me that he did it. A student would just pick it up and don't even mention a word. You know what I mean? So that's the culture that's I'm after, and so far it's been so good.
I wanted to remind everybody, Woodland Hills, California. Way back, Steve Sexton was one of your great mentors.
Yes, sir.
And you've had some great mentors over the time, Jihan Jay and Ron Balicki and Mr. Myers. Any thoughts on where these guys took you? So we have a kind of a little backdrop of Fariborz for a second.
Absolutely. I started, by luck getting into Hapkido and meeting Steve Sexton, and thank God for that. But Steve really opened up, it gave me wings that there's more into this. Hapkido is based on no set patterns of movement technically, but he literally did that with me. He said, go out there, there's more stuff, and I seeked out, literally, I have one thing that I'm very proud of. I have literally taken lesson with the best of the world. And I have a little bit of a personal relationship with most of them, and they're all my teachers, and I've accepted them as my teachers. Again, just like we did a student, client, and a customer, I have a distinction between coaches, instructors, and teachers. And so these are truly are my teachers. Most of them taught me what to do. Some taught me what not to do. But either way, they taught me. So I'm here because of their result. Like Sensei Benny, Benny the Jet, he's training here at the studio and stuff, and having Ron Balicki, and these guys are incredible. They opened my eyes into so much more than what I had, known before.
Fariborz, as we kind of pull the curtain open slowly,
yes, sir,
into the recess of your mind, because you have some context with many years, the ups and the downs and the challenges, and you've been there the whole time as a devoted martial artist, giving a lot to the community, to the instructors, to the students. I mean, you know what you have done and what value you brought in. During this time of COVID-19, how has your experience and your martial art experience assisted you, guided you, developed you for right now? Right. What would you say?
I was trained in two different schools of thought, which is, Jihan Jay was, traditional, do a lot of meditation, be in the moment, Zen, a lot of philosophy. And there was Steve Sexton, who just wanted to literally just kick ass and get the guy down as fast as you can, most amount of damage. And I'm so fortunate to have had that opportunity in both. But this is, as a martial artist, not as a businessman, as a martial artist, this is what I've always trained for. I have to remind myself that we train every day for that one lousy time we get in a fight. And under pressure, what do we do? Do we break? Do we just follow whoever? I mean, this is my moment of test, right? So that's my thinking, is that this is where I get to go to work. I've been having fun for the last few years training, but this is, now I get to go to work, right?
But Fariborz, you always say it's important to acknowledge your feelings. So where are you? Where are your feelings right now? What is your emotional stability or instability?
Right. So, I want to be real. I don't want to do, I think, Karate Kick, the Miyagi syndrome did the biggest service as far as business, but it did the biggest disservice to the martial arts community, because we think we need to be the Miyagi. We need to be the life coach. We need to know that we know it all. So we mix shit up as we go along. And I should say maybe, other people don't. So I needed to be stopped by right people and say, no, you do not know it all. And acknowledge your feelings, be vulnerable. This is not a time to be all strong. I have my downtime where, I literally go off. I give myself time and I go, no, this is my time. I'm going to F this and F that. And, I'm tired of this and this and this and this. But I give myself time. I only got about 20 minutes. After that, I'm done. I need to move on with the rest of my life. Otherwise, I'll be, I'm sure you can relate to this. You'd be driving along, there's a song comes and you get all sad, like, oh my God, I'm going to remember my ex or whatever, controls me. Versus I've learned to stop that and say, no, at 9 o'clock tonight, I'm going to make 10 minutes for that, And unfortunately, now my 10 minutes is more of an hour, but to get rid of stuff. But it's important for me to acknowledge my feelings.
Yeah.
Reach out for some solid feedback from the people that are important, because this is not a time to get feedback from people that are not important, because, anybody and their mother thinks they know everything, So is to have a people that couple coaches that you can go to and reach out to and just really be by yourself. You know what I mean? That was one of the things that I was going to talk about, is take care of yourself. This is the time, So what I did, I made a list of everything I don't like about my school, literally. And I'm going to do something about each one of them I already have. Physically, student-wise, especially curriculum. What a great time right now for me to sit down and plan out my business and write down my standard operational manual about how we do it here. And on my curriculum, go back to everything I teach, point of reference of it, rethink online training. There's no such a thing as, this whole conversation of old school, new school. There is no more. We just school, right? This thing is proven to all of us,
Yeah. Fariborz, can I go back for just a moment? Yeah. What were 2 or 3 things on your list about your school that you didn't like? Can you share with everybody what you came up with?
Absolutely. There's some things that, I see it daily and it gets on my nerve. And I go, okay, I'm going to do something about that. I don't. So it goes tomorrow, it goes next day, then it goes a week. And okay, just give you a stupid example. When we put the trash can, we have a nice trash can, but the little plastic thing sticks out. And I hate that. I'm like, why don't we just tuck that in? But I don't communicate it to other people. I keep looking at it. And but now if I can put that as one of my to-do things every morning, it takes me 30 seconds, And that's just an example, but there's so many little things that I get upset about, and my staff know that I'm upset because I get frustrated. My whole being is, they don't know why, because I don't have the courage to communicate with them, right? Or I yell at them, or, whatever, you know what I mean? But the whole point is, I want to make a list of all those and attack every one of them. I have time now. It's not like I don't have time. I have all the time in the world now. It's my choice. Do I want to invest it, and do I want to waste it?
Yeah. Tell me 2 things you learned about the do's and the don'ts of online training. What would you say?
I've always, as I was one of the first ones to the whole, being a techie person, came up with a, first online or regular martial arts software, then the online one, then the websites. Now, I'm telling you, all of that stuff to the side. What I've learned is direction is more important than speed, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
time where this is not a time about being concerned about the software or this or this. You know, my experience is that most school owners weren't concerned of what the software can do. They just wanted to do what they've been doing faster with a push of a button.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. They just wanted to do it faster. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I got out of the whole software thing. But the thing about online training right now is, I think Zoom is great. I have kids. You have to remember they're on Zoom at 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon from their school.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I want to do is to give them more screen time.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea of the Zoom. There's a percentage of my students who are doing it, but that's not where all my attention is. I think I want to spend more time on having my curriculum online, which this is the best time to do it. You have downtime. You have no technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
There's softwares out there who do it for you so easily. So my whole thing is, what I challenge my students on, I made a list of 100 things that I think every black belt should know, and cross the word black belt, put human, because they're things that everybody should know, like how to make eggs. That just sounds stupid. How to put a nail in a wall. How to do laundry. So I made a list of 100 things, and I'm challenging all my students, and you should see the videos I'm getting back, because like one of them is how to change a tire in a car. I got goosebumps thinking about it. This dad sent me this email and said, I spent an hour and a half with my son with no phone, showing him how to change a tire. And I'm thinking, God, that's a bonding that could never be replaced. You know what I mean? Or I'm challenging people to create their family trees. Things that, that you can go back to see where you came from. Not more screen time. I mean, punching and kicking is great. Follow kids. Little kids must do that. I'm all for that. But why not challenge them on something that they can improve on? I know the last thing I want is to keep them busy. I want to do something that they can see results. If we can work on introducing yourself better, do the little, here's the thing. Do it the smallest thing we do in an extraordinary way, the ordinary things, right? How do we do it in an extraordinary way? And I'm getting great results from it. I'll share with you some of the videos and the students are sending me, the mom says, this kid has never, ever washed dishes. And he wants me to teach him how to wash dishes. Videotape this boy and sends it to me. I'm like, oh my God. We all know I'm a martial artist. I'm all into push-up kicks and all that stuff. This is not the time, in my opinion.
Yes.
People should be doing things that the parents can relate to.
Wonderful.
Parents are going to say, oh my God, he's doing this. Why is he doing that? Oh, my sensei asked me to. That's part of my black belt test. Doesn't matter what belt I am now. So I'll share with you guys that list. It's a list that anybody can make, but I kind of made it and I'm getting really good success with it. But with that, I'm still doing the Zoom. I'm still doing the online training, for the curriculum. So that's excellent. One of the main things.
It sounds like you're doing a great job to engage the relational aspect of the student, teaching them all things, giving them more ideas, getting feedback from different types of videos on changing a tire, making breakfast, washing dishes. It's that engagement. It's that relational equity that you're working towards, which is so wonderful. Let me ask you something. When this thing is behind us, give us some clarity, Fariborz, on what we're coming back to.
I think as much as this has been a shock for a lot of us school owners, going back is going to be the second shock, because I don't think students are going to flock back in. We need, as school owners, I need to be aware. I need to be prepared and think about strategies, how we're going to get these people back. As you know, when you don't train for a couple of weeks, it's really hard to get back into normal. You know what I mean? So we need to have a plan. It's not going to be like, boom, we have to be physically ready. We have to be financially ready. I know with all the stuff going on, we're getting help from the government and stuff, and all that stuff is great. But what are we going to do after that when we go back to normal? And I don't think it's going to be a normal anymore. There's no normal. This already proved to me, we're not, this is not normal. times. And when we go back, it's not going to be normal because there's going to be another one. There's going to be another one of these things, you know. And what, for me, I'll confess one of my sins to you. I need to make sure that my self-esteem is not dependent on my school. And I know that sounds maybe negative in some ways. Oh, that's your school, that's my life. I realize my school is not my life. My students are not my life. This is the time where my family needs me the most. This is where, you know, I need to, you know, be at home and do my share, not help out with my wife. I hate that because my wife doesn't need help. But I need to start doing my share by being in the house. The kids need to start doing that. They need me more than my students. And if I got that wrong priority for the first couple of weeks, and I paid a heavy price for it, you know? So I'm very clear about my priorities now, you know?
Sounds like one silver lining for you
Absolutely
has been a shift of your priorities with your family.
Absolutely. And being at home, thinking about the studio, or, you know, doing the stuff and thinking about this. And there's a world out there. And I want people to understand this, because first note to me, there is a world outside martial arts. There is a world. There is a knowledge. There's things to do. There's the things that we can open our eyes instead of being, you know, like this.
Well, what are you opening your eyes to in that world out there?
I mean, you one of the first ones that said, you know, here's our stats for the business. You should save. You should invest. And well, these are the time all those going to come handy, because if you didn't have that, and I know a lot of people didn't, because we just didn't think it was going to be necessary. Oh no, I'm going to do this. You know, it's not, right? We need to open our eyes, be more educated about finances, about relationship with people. So in return, that'll be our staff and our students. You know, we just need to be more educated about things rather than blaming it on, oh, that's old school or new school, or, you know, whatever that is, you know.
Are there any training guides or anything that you're so great at developing guides and systems, anything that come to mind that is necessary right now?
Yes, sir. I created a guide, a PDF book on how to develop your own standard operation manual. And that's basically how do we do it at my school, and how to create systems, how to have with some samples and being clear about your goals. And I'm going to put that resources out there for you guys to share it with everyone that wants it. I have some courses that I've done all online where I'm going to make it all available with no obligation, no sales pitch, no nothing. So people can, I think this is the time where we need to work on our business. And we, you know, E-Myths talked about that, work on your business, in your business, or whatever. But this is literally a time to work on your business. You can't be in it, right? You can't. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but here we have city inspectors going around. It's $1,000 fine if your doors are open. So I can't even hold Zoom classes in my school. I got to do it from my house, you know? So this is the time I think we've got to go back and really think about how are we going to do this better.
Yes.
Right.
Fariborz, if I was a martial artist out there and I'm rattled and I'm working through and acknowledging, you know, where I am, and like you, getting my priorities straight, knowing that my identity is a little less tied into me being the chief instructor. I'm going through the revolution, the transformation in my mind also. With your years of experience, and you've gone through the earthquakes, you've gone through your own challenges, what would you like to suggest or share with other people on the tools that I would need to navigate myself emotionally and physically through the next couple of weeks or months? What would you say?
Well, actually, I made a little note, so I'm going to read it for you. First one is relax, because nothing is under control. You know, this whole control thing that, you know, I see my friends and in this community, the word control, we need to let go of it. Nothing is right now under control. The other one is, if you're bored, it's because you're being boring. So stop being boring. You know, start a word that I'm bored. What you put in your social media, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. I mean, don't start spreading things up. Don't start putting memes of this and that and everything that sounds good. And this is not the time for that. The other one was be real. Here's a good one. Watch your weight. Because right now I'm not training, so I'm already putting on weights. So I got to be really aware of the way I look when I'm out there, or especially if I put something out there. I'm going to say this, but I'm really disappointed with some of the videos I see some of the instructors getting out there doing stuff, especially on Zoom Day, doing it themselves. I'm kind of like, oh my God, I hope nothing for them. Maybe that works for them. I hope I don't look like that. Right. And talk about fitness. I'm very clear that I will not talk about or judge or start doing fitness program. I'm not fit. So I'm not going to go out there and talk about fitness right now. This is the wrong time. Be careful who you talk, text, and connect with, especially through social media, especially old friends, old girlfriends, old relationships. Start bonding online or talking to people and developing some inappropriate stuff. You got to be really aware of that stuff. Just because, you can't go out, you can go in, right? You don't have to necessarily, do some silly stuff, but watch for that. The other one was, your peace is inside of you and not with other people, that I'm better than that. Don't miss your kids. Don't dismiss your kids and your spouse. Not missing them, but dismissing them. Because it really hurts when I'm on my phone all the time and they want my attention. I'm like, let me just get through this, right? Watch the tonality of your voice. Don't dismiss them. Communicate with them. I'm doing that at home now, and I'm a big fault of all of this, but I'm really aware of it now. The fact that my family needs me more. Go back and start. The other one is walk. That's all I can do. I walk and I ride my bike, but I'm very clear. Walk is the reward, not the destination. So I just walk. I love walking. I think it's something that I used to do when I was a lot younger. Now I'm doing that more, and I highly, highly recommend that. More than ever, I need to remember that I'm not a master. I'm a servant right now, more than ever. This is not anybody, I got rid of that name years ago, but I want to make sure that I am no master. I'm right now being a servant. And the last one is, I want to become a better version of myself silently. Not going out there, but there's so many things that I can do. I have the time right now. And this is the time that I should be spending and investing in me, right? So those will be my suggestions.
Excellent. Fariborz, why are we so lucky to have you? Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to do a quick acknowledgement, because I've been here on this kind of pressure before with the earthquake, with the 94. And I was, as far as I know, the only school that I lost my school in 94. And it happened on a Sunday morning, and actually Monday morning. The earthquake was about 6 o'clock. At 7:30, my sister called me to make sure I'm okay. And the second person was your dad, who called and make sure everything was okay and send me a check without even me asking. Said, you know what, just take care of your school. We'll talk about this later. So it's a great thing to be able to give back a little bit, to acknowledge, what EFC has done for me. And I never forget that. So
great. Well, we have acknowledged it. Thank you so much. You've given us some real great pearls of wisdom. We've got inside a little bit of your thinking at the moment, especially with your experience and all of your travels in the martial arts, all the people that you know, all the people that you helped. I think that the martial art community, starting with me, is grateful and will be grateful for your guidance and your support, and the seniorship that you bring, your experience that you bring to the community. So we're very grateful. And thank you so much for being on this Empower channel.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for, making the time.
And we're giving you a great martial art hug over the Zoom line, okay?
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you so much.